1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to the Kennedy and Clark Masters of Rock Talk podcast.
Masters of Rock Talk, back on the dial, traveling at a speed of 45 RPMs, where the vinyl will bring you to a new destination. On with the show.
This is it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ferris Kennedy. To the left of me,
I forgot my Dr. Ian Clark.
and we brought over from the Serious Rock Talk studios for another show. Ladies and gentlemen, you know him as
Medicated Wheeler.
but we all call him Stephen Effin Wheeler. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Welcome. It's
We're
wonderful
good
to be
have
here.
you back.
Likewise.
So, gentlemen, today is quite simple.
Yeah.
The concept is going to be about some bands.
Okay.
And I'm just going to shoot out a name and what's next for them. This is it. Gentlemen, the Beatles. What's next for the Beatles? After their massive hit of Now and Then, what's going on?
AI.
Well, I think it's clever marketing. Go to Beatles.com and see what they're up to. I mean, they repackage everything. You know, that's what they do. I mean, with the re-release, really, of some of their concert footage, and they're really clever at re-releasing stuff. Keep in mind, the Beatles broke up over 50 years ago. Like, it's fantastic. Their popularity remains in the light, but it does. So, in a previous show last year, ladies and gentlemen, we spoke about Now and Then, and it was my fervent little frightened prayer that it's the last kind of Franken Beatles song they release from Beatle parts. I really hope it is. Please don't tell me there's more in the vault.
I could tell you there is more in the vault.
Yeah, well, that's a sad tale, baby. That's just running after cash, I think.
Because do you actually think Paul McCartney is going to let that money train dry up?
He's worth over $1 billion US. I'll lend him a few bucks if he needs it, but stop it, right? Harrison's estate might need it. In fact, that's why George did the anthology series. He needed some money. And somebody said he's down to his last 20 million, and he just needed some money.
Oh, geez, if I had 20 million, I wouldn't be crying. I'd be like, cool, I can
There
take
you
a
go.
trip, no
So-
problem.
So that's my feeling about the Beatles. I mean, I think Led Zeppelin did it right. When their drummer died, they died. And Jimmy Page does re-releases, but it's no new stuff. It's just remixes. My feeling.
I'm trying to remember. Is there any of their records that is still to be re-released?
The Beatles?
Yeah, I think we've covered every. Like by 2023, I think with the blue and the red album, I thought this was it. I mean, there is an unofficial release in the 70s, right?
Yeah, there's a few things like Meet the Beatles, the Beatle love songs. I remember when that came out, it's a brown album with gold
I have
lettering.
it. It comes with also a booklet on vinyl. I
Yeah.
have it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's, it is. It's got My Michelle and Hey
Yeah.
Jude and all that stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if they recut that one.
You can do that. In fact, there's the Beatle rock and roll album came out in the 70s. All the Beatles hated it. I mean, you can repackage anything. They don't own the masters.
Yeah, but remember,
So-
they repackaged Revolver. They repackaged
Yeah.
Let It Be.
You're going to get more and more of that, I think, right?
Yeah.
Remixing, repackaging, outtakes, and it's never going to stop because there's the demand. And I got to say that I've listened to some of them, and it's interesting, right? So if I'm interested in it, there's a million guys like me.
The next band that I hope never stops is the Rolling Stones. So,
Yeah.
What's next? More touring.
more touring.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he
Another
has to
album
get
on
out of the
Horizons,
house.
you think?
Yeah, this one sold so well. Apparently, Hackney Diamonds has less leftover cuts. Okay, when I'm told that, here we go.
I'm so happy.
I think I heard though that there's. I mean, right now they're only on streaming sites, but there's different versions. Like there's Not Polite for Radio version. There's like a bunch of them, so I'm thinking there might be a few releases of Acne Diamond in 2024 on vinyl.
Well, this is what I like to hear. It is 2024, and the Stones are still going. Now, this is now 60 some odd years.
Yeah.
At least.
62 years to be exact.
Yeah, really.
Actually, I read somewhere that something interesting, which was if somebody fell in a coma in 73, woke up in 2023, he would get it maybe kind of a shock with technology, and then he would ask, okay, so who's really big on the charts? The Stones, the Beatles?
Yeah, good point.
It's true, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Stones, the Beatles, they Kiss Me to come back.
Yeah.
Think about it, you know, AC/DC still going. But I'm happy just because, like what I wrote last year, there's no other bands that are coming up right now to really pass on the torch. And we've discussed this ad nauseum that, you know, who's around. Well, Metallica's still there.
Yep.
Chili Peppers are still young enough that they can do it. Foo Fighters are still going. Mind you, without Taylor, I'm kind of like sad, but whatever. So the fact that the Stones are still here, yeah, I'm a fan, of course. I'm not going to lie. I love the Stones. I love their albums. I don't need their Emotional Rescue album, Steel Wheels.
There's a few there, yeah.
Those are terrible. Probably another one I'm missing. It's not, oh, yeah, you don't like Bridges of Babylon.
It's a horrible album.
Yeah.
It's not really listenable.
That's the 90s, wasn't it?
Yeah, was it, or the 80s?
No, I think it was a 90s.
Yeah.
The one in the 90s, the Voodoo Lounge.
Oh, yeah.
Voodoo Lounge.
That was actually not bad.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
But that's what they do. That's their little MO, is they put out something horrible and everything. Well, that's it for them. And then they put out something okay. Well, I guess they're back. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Because
So
Dirty
they-
Work, the only song I like was Harlem Shuffle, and I ended up getting the LP,
Yeah.
the EP on it.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So it was pretty cool. So yeah, they're touring. I look forward to it. They're going to Rama, Ontario. That's the closest to us.
Oh,
that they're going.
Wow.
So I'm assuming Niagara because it's Casino Rama.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I might actually make a trip actually with my buddy down in Steeltown. We're going to head out to catch it because why not? When am I going to see these guys ever again? Here's my chance.
True.
If I have to spend $200 for the ticket, I'll do it because I want to see the Stones.
Mm-hmm.
And I want
Well,
to take
2 Stones. But yeah.
3.
Well, kind of.
Well, okay.
2 original.
Two stones and a kidney stone.
That's
But wait,
it.
what's the one? Kenny James?
Well, there's Ronnie Wood.
No, but the drummer now, which is
Yeah.
Richard, it's Keith Richards' guy.
Well, it's Charlie's. That's the way they got around that. Originally, Keith famously said, "When Charlie stops, I stop." Yeah, and then, but Charlie, bless him. Hey, if I can't go on, you take, John Smith, whatever his name is. Oh, stop.
So yeah. So listen, Charlie passed.
Mm-hmm.
They're still going. If Ron would pass, they would still go.
Oh, they won't stop. In
So
fact,
if either Mick or Keith go, it's done.
Yeah.
It's not both. It's either one of those two.
Yeah.
I bet you if Keith goes, this is more, but I know, ladies, but if Keith goes, and why not? I bet you, Mick goes on and be billed as Mick Jagger sings the Stones, like Roger Daltrey did about 10 years ago. He said Daltrey sings Townsend. What else are you gonna sing? So it'll be something like that. He's
No,
not gonna stop.
I feel those two are one. It's one. They're one.
I hope you're right. I mean, I just they're the Glimmer Twins. They co-wrote a lot of stuff. The Stones were amazing in their prime. Their prime was 40 years ago, in my opinion. And now and then there's an occasional song. They peak with some girls in 77, something.
40 years ago, you're talking about the 80s being their prime?
No, some girls. I
Oh,
think
that's,
So
that was a
50
good
years
album,
ago.
yeah, 77, I think,
Yeah,
76.
so nearly 50 years ago.
Yeah, so I think that was their total peak, and after that, sporadic stuff. And I think that's it.
All
So
right. This band, I think there's nothing left, but now what we spoke about last year at our New Year's Eve show, Wheels had brought up some AI information.
Yeah.
Kiss.
Yeah, the avatars. Seriously, well, nothing is ever going to stop Gene Simmons from making a buck. We're talking about a guy who does Kiss coffins.
That's
I
right.
know. Yeah, he does. He has Kiss coffins. What an insult to the dead. But yeah, he has Kiss lighters. He's got Kiss everything. I don't know.
Kiss pajamas, Kiss
Kiss G strings. I'm guessing at this
You've
point.
seen Kiss dog clothing.
That's yes,
I
I
wouldn't
think you're
mind
right.
Kiss, bathroom tissue, but that's about it. But no, I just Gene Simmons. Long after he's gone, his estate will be raking it in for Kiss stuff. I've always said, and this goes back to when we formed the podcast, I treat them as a novelty act, not really as a rock band. And they're in makeup and costumes, and there's fire and smoke and blood spitting. It's a novelty act, and it's entertaining for certain people. But for me, I can't compare them to Jeff Beck.
No.
There's something else. It's an entertainment, and that's fine. But, Gene's done very well. He's a former high school teacher. What? It's not a big mystery to me that he wants to keep going with avatars. And Avatar is not, a band. It's like ABBA's. This is a 3D recreation of a band that's sitting down getting money for this, royalties.
They did 4 albums without the makeup.
Which nobody has, I think.
My buddy Dave is a huge
Kiss
guy. He
Yeah.
loves it. They 24 albums. 24
4 albums in
studio
50
albums.
years.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
So what? They've been around 73.
I think 73.
50 years.
Right?
It was their 50th last
So
year.
50 years. It's basically an album every 2 years.
Yep.
I have
Wow.
one of them is Destroyer.
Yep.
If my buddy Dave gets a turntable, I'll give it to him. It's like this freaking thick. It's a 35th anniversary edition.
Yeah, they've been around for. I remember when they came out, everyone was blown away because
Whatever.
they were so new, and they'd do like the Merv Griffin show in full makeup.
Okay, yeah.
And they were a novelty. Who are you? Where are you from? Like it was like they used to treat
York.
David Bowie. Yeah, but they wouldn't give away a lot. They're mysterioso. They wouldn't give their names, and whatever. They got attention and they did albums. So
Was
what?
it Star Child, Demon something?
Yeah,
Something,
like
yeah.
that. They had names.
Cat.
Cat.
Yeah, Cat.
That's it.
Cat and I forget what Tommy Thayer was.
It was Cat.
He was something else. My
Yeah.
buddy Dave had it all listed out for me.
Oh, they were big names,
Yeah.
and but anyway, that's the way I think of Kiss. It's not an insult; it's just an observation.
Do you find those names better than Lefty Wilbur?
Yeah, we used to speak in the previous year, ladies and gentlemen, about the Wilburys, and when their album came out, I thought interesting, but I thought is it get George out of the house. One of George Harrison's constant complaints was he didn't belong in a band, and all he wanted to do was belong in a band. And the Beatles broke up. He never was in another band, and this is a chance to get George out of the house, and he got out. That's it.
So my prediction for Kiss in 2024, better avatars. That's pretty
That's
much
pretty good.
I have a funny feeling they're going to tour.
Stop.
I swear.
Oh my God.
All right, moving on up.
it. Run up to the east side.
Rush. They're coming back, but not as Rush.
But not as Rush.
And they're looking for a drummer.
They're looking for a drummer, and Canadians everywhere that grew up in the 70s will go to see their concerts. That's pretty sure money in the bank, I'm guessing.
All right, so let me ask you this: what 2 drummers do you think they should look at? And then Ian, I'll ask you the same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Wheels, what 2 drummers do you think Rush should say? You know what? Viens-t'en chez nous.
I had a list.
Oh, you have a list.
I had a list. Let me check.
You know what? Give me 3. Let's make it 3. We're 3 guys, 3 each.
Well, just for the age thing, Ringo, it'll take him out of the
That would
house.
suck. I don't want to see that.
I don't think he's good enough.
No.
No, that's
Sorry.
Clem Burke's still alive?
Yeah. Actually, you stole that. I was
No, you could have it.
Okay.
I just know it's a name that we discussed.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Tori
drummer.
DeVito. Liberty DeVito.
How do we know that?
We did a drummer show and it was Billy Joel's drummer. Like,
Oh, yeah. I just love the name, but it doesn't stand out.
All right, Wills, what do you got? Give me your 3 names. Or how many you have there?
Well, I had 2. So Gavin Harrison from Porcupine Tree and Alex Van Halen.
Okay, and what would be your 3rd? You want to throw Ringo in there just because you want to be facetious?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got Harrison, wow. You got Ringo Starr, Alex Van Halen, and the Porcupine guy?
Yeah, the Porcupine guy.
What's his name again?
Gavin Harrison.
Gavin Harrison. All right. Dr. Clark,
Oh, I'm thinking, well, Clem Burke he's just an amazing.
Blondie,
drummer.
right?
Yeah, Blondie, and I saw 3 times I've seen him, and even at his age, he has not slowed down. Last time I saw him, I was with a guy, and he turned to me and said, "Is this for real? Look at this guy!" And they hit him in kind of a glass cage. His drumming's so loud; he's way in the back. Boom, boom, tack, tack, boom, boom, tack. He's fantastic. And the other guy why not Jason Bonham? Beautiful drummer. Great. He can play heavy like his dad, which is exhausting. He's good. Number 3. Oh, I think I've heard the name Arnoff around for a while. Maybe Kenny Arnoff is kind of an all-around. He's played from everybody from the Doors on up. He's very versatile, and he's extremely ambitious. And I think he's a pretty good drummer.
Aronoff?
Yeah, I mean, he himself.
He's friends with Peart too.
Yeah, he himself said he's not the best, but he's the most ambitious, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 3.
If I had to choose 3, I'd definitely go. I would go actually Dave Lombardo. Just
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
Dave Lombardo, I think, would fit in nicely just because of if they're continuing with their prog
Yeah.
stuff, that would work. I'm going to also say Dana Carey from Tool. Again, a similar type of genre. I do agree with you with Aronoff because Aronoff would be a fantastic choice. And I'm going to go with, like a lot of people said to me, he used to be my top 5 drummer, but he's pretty well gone to being my top number 1. It's because I'm doing a lot of his music right now with my drum teacher. It's going to be Chad Smith. I think
Yeah, he's a really good drummer.
Yeah.
Chad Smith is really good. He's been on Drumeo, and he's just a genuine person. And they had showed a video where he didn't know the song, and they said, okay, we're going to play a song,
Oh yeah, I saw that video.
The
Yeah.
Kill, which is by 30 Seconds to Mars. And you could just see the repost video and the reaction of genuine from Jared Leto and his drummer, that they're listening to Chad, and Chad is working it. Because he never heard the song before. He didn't know what it was. And then when he says, oh, yeah, Jared Leto, yeah, okay, he's a good guy. And it just shows the type of people. And I think because Rush, they're very humble guys.
They are, yeah.
I think Chad Smith would fit. I do think Aronoff would fit because he's humble. He's very
Plus,
happy.
he's adaptable to the style.
You know.
It's
True,
not
yeah.
an easy drumming setup.
God,
so.
I think Dave Lombardo would do it just because he was a fan.
Yeah.
And a lot of these heavy thrash metal drummers, they we joke around about Rush all the time, but realistically, I have a ton of their albums. But their music is good. They are great musicians.
Mm-hmm.
They are
They're
almost
very good musicians.
perfectionists when it comes to music, and you can't take that away from them. Peart, yeah, of course, is a good drummer. I don't call him the professor. My drum teacher is the professor. Charles is the professor. Neil is not the professor in my books, but because I know the professor.
Sir, exactly.
But I was
Sure.
joking around, I think that would be good. So that's a very good choice. Alex Van Halen, yeah, I like that. He's got nothing going on right now.
No,
exactly.
He's spending dad's money.
His brother's money.
Brother's money, rather.
You think Wolfgang?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Wolfie.
Wolfie.
So that's what Rush. So yeah, they're coming back. I'll lead this one off. Aerosmith is done, unfortunately. You guys heard my piece on the New Year's Eve show.
Oh, yeah, right.
You did the piece earlier. With these guys' health right now, I'm sad because I didn't think they're that old.
No,
Well,
but
they live pretty hard.
They did. There was an interview, I think, that, what did Steve Tyler say, the amount of drugs he did in his life with cocaine? He said he literally snorted the whole length of Peru.
Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of Bolivian marching powders. But those guys, they damage membranes in their nose, damage their heart. They're messes. There's a famous interview with Tyler, I think 30 years ago, and he suddenly breaks into tears because he's so drugged up. He's bawling away during the interview like he's just a mess. So on the other side, they're both alive. That's
True, yeah.
So you're not surprised, Ian, that the hard
No,
life caught up to them?
I think it's okay to just not tour anymore. They were known for it. It's not like the Beatles were known for it, or the Keith Richards maybe, or the Stones were known for it. There's certain bands. Zeppelin was kind of known for it a bit, but no, the Toxic Twins were really known for hard partying, especially cocaine, which destroys your health. So
Now, realistically, Ian, when Perry had his stroke,
on stage stroke, yeah.
if he didn't recover from that, it would have been done earlier.
I think so, because we spoke earlier, that's in this podcast, about Richards and Jagger. Those two are bound together, whether they like it or not. And if one goes, it's totally symbiotic. The other guy goes.
Yeah.
You can't get away from that. If not, to be the Steve Tyler show. And Tyler has done stuff on his own, and no one cares about it. So
Well, he collaborated with Santana.
yeah, he's done a few things, and he's just
But it's Santana's show more than it is.
Yeah,
the,
it's just Santana doesn't really sing. He sang, but didn't
Yeah.
really sing.
didn't do much. And so, yeah, I think that's my take on it. And so they're probably watching each other closely. You might as well quit while you're both alive and not get pitiful about it.
It's sad.
Yeah.
To me, it's the end of an era.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
Because I thought they would have been Stones 2.0.
Hopefully Steven Tyler doesn't ask his daughter to sing in his place.
No, she's in acting. She's fine.
I know.
Liv is fine. All right, and then the last band,
Yeah.
I got mixed feelings on them because I do like them. They are in my top 10. They're probably going to be booted out soon. Well, AC/DC. What is next for them? They are touring. I will try to grab that
Yeah.
ticket. I'm not going to lie. I do want to see them before they go. Sucks that Malcolm is gone. Phil Rudd is out of prison, so he'll be playing the drums. You know, he was in jail for hiring a hitman to get rid of the hitman initially. It's something stupid.
It's really insane, the story.
It just didn't make any sense.
I know. It's a good story.
So he was released last year, or
No.
A couple of years back, he was
Okay.
released, but it was just a stupid
He was
goof.
on
Just
parole.
those bonehead, those bonehead criminals.
Yeah.
That's what you were. You're a bonehead criminal. Like,
These
dude,
guys aren't known for
being geniuses?
intellectual
Yeah.
people.
like you're a decent drummer. You got a good gig. What?
I know.
Like, what?
I know. That was a real bad move. I don't know. They may as well tour. You know, they can still sing it out.
Is that a money thing?
No, I think they just.
You never know if those guys are pretty screwed up. It might be a bit of a money gig. It's not like it's McCartney.
No, but at the same time, I think these are people that just can't stay home and smoke a pipe.
It's really true. And one thing we haven't mentioned so far in this podcast is that there's no money now in the sale of your copyrights or whatever it is. That's why people are, forward averaging their copyrights and getting things bought back from the Hall Notes. Is one of them is trying to do. Money now is in touring. Oh, hello, Taylor Swift. That's where it is. It's not in your music streaming. You get a cent, maybe a cent and a half per download.
I'm not even sure. I think it's a decimal of a cent.
Is it really?
Something really obscene?
You have to tour, and that's why these guys, they used to call it the retirement tour. I mean, it really is. That's Leonard Cohen, God bless him, before he passed away. Of course, he lost all his money by a bad financial advisor. He went on a retirement tour. I think he made $2 or $3 million, died, and it passed on to his children. So what? Good for him. Good for Leonard.
Well, he was honest about it, though.
He was honest about it. So I think a lot of this stuff, maybe AC/DC, it could be a retirement tour, right? And why not? If you want some money, you may as well do it. But it's not AC/DC in its prime, Back to Black stuff. It's just AC/DC touring, old men with health issues. I might tell
It's
you.
pretty sad, though.
It is, but at the same time, I mean, they have been making the same album for the last 30 years.
Well, you know how many times they put a couple of their songs on the same bloody album that they release 3 times over?
They always do it. They call it an AC/DC mix. Like it's the same mix. The Rolling Stone mix is you pull up rhythm guitars and push back the vocals. So what's Jagger singing? Well, that's the mix. A guy named Jimmy Miller did the mix. And the same with AC/DC. It's an AC/DC mix. And you're comfortable. Yeah, it sounds like back, and it sounds like Shook Me All Night. Well, yeah, that's the mix on it. The biggest ones, of course, are your Trey Home Bay friends, ZZ Top. Always had the overloaded guitar. So, that's a ZZ Top guitar. Because that's the mix on it. They'll never sound different than that. So, now, if they want to, there's one band that I don't care if they tour, because I don't think that highly of them in terms of composers. They're a stadium act, and people love them in stadiums with their, little head ornaments with their horns or something.
Yeah, he's got the Beatles ones.
Yeah, they light up and they jump around. They have a good time. For me, that's why sacrilege for the Rolling Stones to go on, because I think they're great composers. They were amazing rockers, and they have like 10 amazing albums. Maybe not that much, but 10 amazing albums more or less. So I don't want them to tour. AC/DC, go ahead.
So the Stones you don't want to tour, but
No.
AC/DC you're okay with.
Go, I'm okay with. Yeah.
Wow, that's really interesting. All right, well, before we end off the show,
Yeah.
just give me your top 5 bands that you like. Same with you, kind sir.
Sure.
I'll let off of mine. Go ahead with it.
Beatles, Stones, sorry, AC/DC. Right now, I'm listening to a lot of Rush and Black Sabbath.
There you go. I knew Black Sabbath. There it is.
interesting.
You left Pink Floyd out. I was shocked.
Well, it's just a question of I listened to them too much last year. I need a palate cleanser. I'll go back to them.
Dr. Clark.
Well, this is what I say now. You ask me tomorrow, it could be different. But yeah, basically, Beatles, Stones, The Doors, and then those are the top 3. And then it could go into something like the Zombies I love. There's a band I've been listening to from the 60s called Love, which is an amazing band and a great album. So that's what I'll go with right now. But you ask me tomorrow, it could change. I might throw in something like ELO, which was a great band from the 70s. So
I'm gonna go Led Zeppelin, Van Halen, the Stones, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana.
Nice.
solid.
That's pretty well my top three never change.
Yeah, really.
Top three guitars, it never changes. Everyone knows that. But yeah, that's.
I didn't hear Foo Fighters in there.
No, they're my
Yeah.
top 10.
Okay.
But I do like the Foo Fighters. I'm not big on their new stuff. I'm still digesting the Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah, I know you are.
It's huge for me. I'm like I said, I'm huge right now with the Chili Peppers. I'm learning a lot of Chad Smith
Yeah.
music.
I was going to ask you, do you have a top three that's slightly different due to the fact that you're now a drum student?
Top three.
That are more like because of your drum background now that you appreciate now, and you probably it's not so much that you didn't care about them before, but now you care a lot more because you can hear a lot more.
Yeah, the Chili Peppers definitely is going to be on there because I'm doing Blood Sugar Sex Magic, which was an accidental mistake, which worked out really well with my drum teacher. And I'll explain that before we sign off. And so, yeah, Chili Peppers is on there. Imagine Dragons. I'm learning a few
Nice.
of their songs.
Yeah.
And I learned Creep by Radiohead. I was doing Audio Slave, kind of more of the similar stuff. But yeah, Chili Peppers is on there. We're going to get to Zeppelin. It's a little bit harder for me to grasp right now because just, trying to emulate John Bonham is not easy. But yeah, definitely Chili Peppers on there. And the whole story about the accidental mistake was my drum teacher says, all right, it's time now. He goes, what do you want to do? And I say, you know what, I want to do Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I go, it's on the Blood Sugar Sex Magic album. He's like, okay, no problem. So Charles writes it down, goes to it, finds it out. He goes, yeah, says, okay, so today we're going to do Blood Sugar Sex Magic. I'm like, oh, you mean Under the Bridge by... He goes, no. He goes, I thought you said that song. I said, well, I like that song. He goes, great, because Under the Bridge, you're waiting for a minute and a half before you're playing anything. And that's the accident. And he's now getting into it.
Oh,
Nice.
good.
He's an older guy.
Yeah.
His guys are like Roger Taylor.
Yeah.
He loves Charlie Watts, Buddy Rich, Steve Gadd, Thomas Lance.
Okay.
Those are the guys he likes. Now, courtesy of me, he's starting to respect. He likes Aerosmith. He respects Chad Smith. He thinks Tommy Lee is incredible.
Nice.
For what he does. He says people don't give him enough credit.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, so what? He does what he does. But he goes, the guy's a good drummer. So, it's amazing how you learn from other people of different generations.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah,
he's
good
a
point.
big Buddy Rich guy. Of course he is, right? And he
Yeah.
learned doing drumming the traditional way. I
Mm-hmm.
do it the matchstick way. So, So as a student of drumming, yes, right now it's a lot of Imagine Dragons, a lot of Chili Peppers, and Radiohead, which turned out to be okay. So we're on break right now, but we'll be back in mid-month. So looking forward to it. So
Nice.
Good.
gentlemen, thank you for
Thank
taking
you,
the
dude.
time.
It was an interesting roundtable.
Yeah, interesting roundtable. I think it's good that we start off 2024 with a light roundtable to get the juices flowing.
Absolutely.
Of music theory, and people email us at seriousrocktalk@yahoo.com and let us know your thoughts.
We'll help you out.
I'm Kennedy signing off, saying Happy New Year, and looking forward to seeing you all in 2024.
Wheeler, wishing you good health.
And Dr. Clark, we're wishing you good wealth.
Nice.
Good night.
Bonjour.
Bye-bye.